Hello again, and thank you for joining me for another Sims 3 speed video or speed build back in Sunset Valley. And today I am renovating and building Mirabello Plaza. And this is a very big lot. I mean, it's got 3 rabbit holes on it, and the building that I'm building now is a consignment store. Now this build here was one of the builds that I started before I took my most recent break, and I started building it kind of at the same time that I was building the casino. I was kind of like in the middle of building the casino, and then I was like, oh wait, I have this really good idea for a building for Mirabello Drive, and so I started on it, and then I got really burnt out, and so I didn't end up finishing it. And when I came back to it after a while, I was like, you know what, this is actually a decent build and I'm going to finish it. I did have a bit of trouble with the initial build that I did, because this part of the building here I really like and I was super happy with, but one of the issues that I was facing with this particular lot was with the arcade in front of this building that is like it's kind of like on the overlooking the ocean. And the reason why it was a problem was because in between the bookstore and the theater there is this big gap, and I realized when I started renovating Mirabello Plaza that if you're kind of looking at Mirabello Plaza from the front, so I guess if you're where the park is and you're looking at the 3 rabbit holes, the gap between the bookstore and the theater exposed the alleyway of the arcade, and the alleyway is just like, it's like, it looks like an alleyway, and I put, you know, like alleyway stuff behind there, like a trash, like a dumpster and all that kind of stuff, and I was thinking, well, that's not really a pretty sight for this particular lot. And so I thought, well, you know what, I need to cover up the gap. And my initial kind of thoughts here were to put like a row of buildings that sprawled across the I guess it's the right hand parking lot, where that parking lot used to be. Just build a new building there and cover up this this gap between the 2 buildings so that you can't see the alleyway anymore. And with these buildings like that are off to the right here, so you've got the main building with the, I guess the green roofed turrets on them, and then you've got these 2 buildings here that I'm building, and I just really couldn't get the buildings to look right. Like that, it just looked really awkward. And that led to like a bit of frustration. I just really was having a hard time trying to get this build to look harmonious with its surroundings, or this new build to look harmonious with its surroundings. So I took a break, and after returning to it I thought, well, why don't I just, instead of trying to have like a group of kind of road buildings next to each other, why don't I just take this main building that I like here and extend it all the way out. You can even see to the right that I even tried to edit the arcade, and I thought about editing the arcade just to kind of draw it out to, I don't know, I don't even know what I was thinking when I did that, but in the end I decided to leave the arcade as it is, because I do really like the arcade building, and I was kind of annoyed that I was considering changing it for the sake of this building here. But yeah, anyway, I returned from having a break and I revisited this building, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to take this building here that I really like, extend it all the way out and be done with it. So I came back with this plan here. You can see I haven't quite extended this building. This is still kind of old footage before I took the break. But yeah, that's what I ended up doing. But at the moment I'm just kind of playing around with the color scheme, I guess, of these like little turrets that are off the side of the building, and you know, they're nice. I guess they're not turrets, they're bay windows. What am I saying? But they kind of look like half turrets, I don't know, but yeah, bay windows. And my initial kind of use for this building was to turn it into a laundromat. And I'm laughing about that because I mean, I just thought like once I actually, and I did fully complete it as a laundromat as well. Like I was almost ready to go with this building, and then I thought, why am I turning this building into a laundromat? It is such a nice building. It is in a really nice spot in town. Why am I wasting space with the laundromat? I mean, personally, I've never played with laundromats before. My Sims always have washing machines in their home. I mean, I could do a laundromat at some stage because there is a lot of retail space, a lot of real estate, or community lot real estate up by the Maywood, Upper Maywood area, kind of where the Langerak house used to be, which is now moved in this town. And so if I do want to do a laundromat, I mean, I can really just put one there. But yeah, it just didn't seem like the right place to put a laundromat, and the building that I'd built, like it's a really nice kind of ornate building, and so then I decided to convert it into a consignment store, which just seems like a better use of the space. I do tend to use consignment stores a lot when I play The Sims 3. Like I always try and have my Sims sell any of their craftables using the consignment store. I think it's just a really nice gameplay function for making money in a more realistic way. I'll even send Sims, who paint pictures, I'll make them sell their paintings at the consignment store because, it adds a bit more realism to, crafting and earning money than just kind of selling things from your inventory or directly from like the easel for paintings or whatever. So yeah, consignment store it's going to be, and I guess the theme of it is still kind of classic building and furnishing styles, which I've been doing recently. I am going to start pivoting away from that type of building style. I mean, that is one of my favorite type of building styles, and I did it first because it's my favorite. But yes, I will start pivoting away from this type of building style and try and do something different. Maybe there might be a few more classic builds sprinkled throughout the place, but I do want to try some different building styles. One of them I am actually working on in The Sims 3 at the moment, which is in the Art Deco style, which is another one of my favorite styles that I love to build in. And yeah, so I'm working on that at the moment. But this build here, so you can see I've just cut off all those kind of row buildings that I built, and I just extended this building all the way out, and it looks so much better and tidier and more I guess, yeah, consistent, because I do love consistency. I've said like a million times now, just visual consistency is so key for me to actually enjoying an environment. In terms of Mirabello Plaza itself, I mean, I like the layout of it. I like the landscaping. I like the decorations. I didn't really change much to it. Like I've said in these videos before that, yes, this is a renovation of Sunset Valley, but I don't want to detract from the whole Sunset Valley vibe. Like I still want it to feel like Sunset Valley, like it's, the new buildings really do fit in with the town. So rather than kind of redoing all of this landscaping, which in my opinion would just be a complete waste of time for me because I like it and I don't think there's anything wrong with it, I just kind of tidied it up here and there. And one of the things that I did was actually center the movie theater with the park, because I didn't even realize until I actually started renovating this lot that it's actually off center to the park. Like it's off to the right a little bit, and so I centered the movie theater and all that, but I kept like the floor pattern that was there that EA had already done with like the red carpet and stuff, because I thought that was pretty cool. And then here, so for the consignment store building, I'm just kind of evenly spacing out these these bay windows, and putting a bay window in the gap between the theater and the bookstore. And yeah, in the end, I just really like this build. It is a big building, but of course, as what I've been doing with most of my builds is pretty much having one or two of the floors functional, with the rest kind of being hidden or skipped. So this is another one where it's just the ground floor that's functional. The upper levels have no purpose whatsoever, and you won't even see them because they've got the usual markers in there. That's one of the things I am kind of getting a bit, I wouldn't say I'm at the point where I'm nervous yet, but I am conscious of the fact that I am adding a reasonable amount to this town, and I am thinking about performance a lot. I do want to be able to play in this world and long term, and have it last a long time. But yeah, I am kind of worried with some of the extra stuff that I'm adding, like whether it's going to really hinder the performance. So with these builds that I'm doing, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm maximizing the space, and I'm kind of not overly furnishing stuff that's really unnecessary. It is at the back of my mind, and I really do hope in the end it is I guess what am I trying to say? A performance friendly save, or a performance friendly world that has enough to do. So with the consignment store, actually one thing I haven't said yet is it's actually it's two stores in one building. Basically there's the consignment store, and you can actually see the laundromat at the moment, but like I said, I'd already put it together, and then I decided at the last minute to change it to a consignment store. But there is just a generic store building off to the right, because I thought it was the building itself, the ground floor, was way too big to be a consignment store on its own. So I did put a little store off to the side here, and I decorated it to be just a fake kind of clothing store. But I know, there are a few mods, and there's even some store content as well that allows you to run very basic retail stores. I think there's some custom content that makes the process a little more complex. I'm just trying to think of some mods at the moment. None that come to my mind off the top of my head, although there is the is it the Savia Sellers set, which I believe the creator of that mod originally released a more updated version that is a bit more has a bit more depth to it. I can't remember exactly it might be Savia Sellers Revisited or something. I can't remember exactly, but there are some good mods that allow for better retail experiences than what the vanilla game offers. So I mean, yeah, I've set this one up to be a clothing store, but if you do want to dabble in some retail, you could just kind of turn this into whatever you want. There's plenty of space here for any type of store, but yeah, I just decorated it to be a clothing store. If you don't use this part of the build, and you don't want to have any sort of store here, my other recommendation, and this might even be something that I do if I decide that I don't want to put a store here, my recommendation would just be to delete everything in this and put in the hidden room markers, and that way it'll just be an entirely inaccessible and I guess decorative part of the build. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of just at the moment, it's just this cute little boutique clothing store, just using some real basic furnishings here, nothing too over the top. And yeah, just what do I talk about now? I mean, I don't usually give life updates, but I think this one's going to be important because it will affect the content that I'm putting out. But I am going overseas for several months, from about August. I'm taking unpaid leave from work, and I'm just going overseas to do some travel, which means that I will not have any access to my game or my computer. And so I think, from about August for several months, I mean, all up my leave from work is 7 months. I don't know if I'm gonna be traveling that whole time. I'm still like, honestly, I don't know where, like I'm just taking this leave and I'm going overseas and I'm just going to go wherever the wind takes me. So if I decide to come home earlier, then I will. But I mean, even when I do come back, I mean, I don't even know if I'm just going to go straight into Sims content, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I'm just taking this time off from work just because I really just need a break and some time to reset and reflect. So yeah, don't expect there to be a lot of content during this time. I'm gonna try and do some builds beforehand so that I can kind of stagger some releases while, you know, at the start of my trip. I don't think I'll have enough if I do end up being away for the full 7 months. I don't think I'm going to have 7 months of content lined up, but I'll try and at least have some stuff so there isn't as much of a drought between content. And yeah, in other news, like I have been building in The Sims 2 again. That's been really fun. I have a few builds in that game to release, and yeah, but my goal is to do at least one kind of video task every day after work. I don't usually do any of the, I mean, when I say video task, I mean like the editing, the voiceovers, the uploading, the screenshots or the panning shots for The Sims 3. I try and do those for at least, or spend at least like an hour on that after work every day. And if I get into more of a habit of that, then I will be able to, I guess, maintain a bit of a backlog for me to rely on when I do go away. But that's all the idea. I mean, that's me being incredibly idealistic. But it's what I'm aiming for. And so, yeah, I've cleared out all the laundry stuff that was in this part of the build here, and now I'm kind of just turning it all into consignment stuff. And I mean, these, like the consignment store, I feel like with Ambitions there was a hugely missed opportunity to really dabble in retail. I think it would have been the perfect pack for retail. As you know, The Sims 4 kind of has a what would you call it, like a sister expansion pack with Get to Work, where it included like active careers and a retail system. I feel like The Sims 3 could have done something similar, even though The Sims 3 came out before. Maybe they learned their lesson from The Sims 3, and that's why they did Get to Work the way they did. But I mean, even Get to Work, I mean, even though the retail system in that game is nowhere near as fleshed out as Open for Business in The Sims 2, I'm just grateful that there is the very, I wouldn't even say the basics, there is like I guess a mid-tier retail system in The Sims 4. If we're gonna scale things, I'll say The Sims 2 is top tier, The Sims 4 is kind of like mid-tier, and then The Sims 3 is just like very bottom, maybe no tier at all. But yeah, I feel like The Sims 3, it was really a missed opportunity to have retail in Ambitions, because you've got the consignment store here, and you've got all these kind of like these shelves and all this kind of retail-esque stuff. And like, I'm just thinking, what is the point of these shelves? Like, they're retail shelves, and you can't even sell stuff in this game, like from them. So yeah, it's a bit, I was just thinking that when I was putting this store together, like, and I was using these shelves, I was like, and actually had a hard time finding them. I was like, I know there's shelves that came with this expansion pack, couldn't find them, so I had to filter the Ambitions expansion pack to actually find them. And then I was thinking, but these are like completely pointless, because you can't really run a store from Ambitions. I mean, it's like, yeah, it makes no sense to me why they're even there. I mean, it adds to the mise-en-scene of a consignment store, I guess, but they're basically just decoration. So I'm just decorating the street front now, just putting some bits and bobs out the front of the consignment store to show that it is kind of just like a consignment store. I always envision consignment stores as just being like just junk, kind of curious stores where there's like secondhand stuff in them and antiques. I mean, that's really what it is. A consignment store is basically just a secondhand store. I'm just doing some last few bits of detail from Mirabello Plaza, but yeah, I really didn't change much in terms of the rest of the lot, because like I said, I don't really think there's anything wrong with it. It is a nice lot in and of itself. And then I'm just kind of moving these shelves a little bit because they were overlapping and it was causing flickering. And if you know me, you know that I cannot stand flickering in any of my Sims games. As soon as I see it, it has to go. And so yeah, I know some other people like to kind of do little like build tricks or buy tricks where they kind of merge different objects together to create something new. I will do that sometimes, but if it means that I have to deal with flickering, then I will not do that at all. Like I will just, yeah, I'd rather not play this game than play it with flickering. So yeah, we're basically at the padding shots now for a renovated Mirabello Plaza and a new consignment store for the building. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. As always, the link is in the description of this video. And yeah, I will leave you to enjoy the rest of this video and say take care, and I will talk to you later.